There are many careers working with and for wildlife. When narrowing it down to working with big cats, like lions, pumas, or tigers, there are many jobs that work directly with certain cats or focus on protecting the wider populations as a whole.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today, first of all. Could you introduce yourself as well as your role at the Wildlife Conservation Society?
Sure. My name is Carol, and I work as a postdoc in the health center at the Bronx Zoo. So I just graduated with a doctorate in biology, and I'm doing a 1.5-year postdoc, which is after you get your doctorate. It lets you kind of hone your skills and learn new skills. It's kind of an intermediate between getting your PhD and then getting a full-time career. So I'm doing a postdoc at the Bronx Zoo, and the postdoc is involved in molecular work. So it is using the skills that I gained in my doctoral research in extracting DNA. I'm using that to create this portable tool to detect big cat species in products that come through the border in China. So I'm working with partners that we have in China to create this really portable screening tool that can detect whether souvenirs or other products contain big cats like tigers and lions and cheetahs, or if they, and that would make them illegal, or if they contain more domestic species like cows or deer, and then they're fine to have. But we want to know is whether these products could contain endangered cat species.
Thank you, that's really awesome. So why did you decide to go into this field?
I really love all the different ways that you can use DNA to answer answer questions. So for my PhD work, I used DNA from coyotes that I extracted from their feces. So from different scat samples around the city, to tell how many coyotes we had and how they were related to each other and what their genetic diversity was. And I really got into all these different questions that DNA could answer. And I love doing the experimental work to figure out what tests can we use to solve the specific question. So that really attracted me to this research, to understand what tool can we create that can give us the DNA of these different species, so we can tell tiger apart from leopard, apart from cheetah or lion, and then we can tell those big cats apart from domesticated animals. And it will help us to hopefully reduce the wildlife trade and help protect those big cat species.
That's really awesome. So you'd say the work you do impacts conservation by preventing overhunting, correct?
Exactly. If we can detect these products, then authorities can use this information to confiscate the product and to either give that person a fine or whatever the penalty is, and hopefully that will deter future people from wanting to get these products. If we can accurately detect and then prosecute people for having these illegal wildlife products, then maybe we can have that as a deterrent for the future, so that people won't want to get those, and they'll know that these species are threatened, they're endangered, and the populations can't support this poaching. So I hope to reduce that trade in the future.
That's a great use of the science, yeah. Could you mention any organizations that you've either worked at to help protect wildcats, or that you've worked with at the WCS?
Right now it's just WCS that I've been working with. So I'm working even with our partners within WCS who happen to be in Asia. Also Panthera is another one that we're kind of associated with, and they help big cat populations wherever they are.
What would you say has been the most memorable or gratifying moment of your career?
Oh, wow. Well, probably getting the doctorate. It was a lot of work. So it took about 6 years to get my PhD, and it was really great being able to come up with a research plan and perform all the research and answer those questions that I wanted to answer. And it was really a great accomplishment when I finally was able to talk to people who are involved with that and just learn as much as you can, because it will really help you just having that background knowledge about whatever you're interested in. And then once you come across people that do that, then talk to them and ask them how they got involved in it, and ask them if they need any help with any research that they're doing, or if they know anyone that needs any help. But yeah, just find out as much as you can about whatever you're interested in, and it really helps.
Okay, thank you so much. That's great. We have a lot of information, and I think this is really helpful to people who are considering a career and want to know different ways that they can help the conservation of big cats. So thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Good luck.
Wildlife biologists collect data about plants and animals in their native environment, often through fieldwork, including performing surveys, identifying species, recording animal behavior, and assessing the state of habitats. Communication, critical thinking, observation skills are a few skills that would be helpful in being a wildlife biologist. Wildlife biologists can study in specific ecosystems or animal populations, such as an endangered species, like the Eurasian lynx. Wildlife biologists also do applied work such as the conservation and management of wildlife populations. They use geographic information systems, modeling software, and other computer programs to estimate wildlife populations and track the movement of animals. Some responsibilities are identifying species, recording animal behavior, assessing state of habitats, performing surveys, etc. Wildlife veterinarians. Though there are a variety of ways for veterinarians to work in wildlife, they remain professionals that care for the health of animals and work to protect public health. They are recognized by treating sick or injured animals, by prescribing medication, setting bones, dressing wounds, or performing surgery. They educate us about diseases that can be spread from animals to humans and advise animal owners on the proper way to care for a species. Working closely with wildlife biologists, you can work as a free-ranging wildlife veterinarian, providing technical expertise to preserve and manage fish and wildlife populations, and aid in the recovery of endangered species. Some responsibilities are examining animals and checking their health status, aid wounds or injured animals, taking blood tests, vaccinating animals, etc.
For those that want to work closer with animals, there are a few jobs that may interest you. Animals that are injured normally won't survive in the wild without time to heal, ample food sources, or medicine. Rescued animals that can be released into the wild don't get released without the proper care they need to heal. Wildlife rehabilitators help these rescued animals heal every step of the way and ensure that they get released into a proper habitat. They also help orphan animals grow up in an environment similar to their normal one and ensure that they can be released into the wild when they've matured. Jobs as a rehabilitator combine veterinary medicine, animal husbandry, behavior, and biology. Zoologists are scientists that specialize in the study of animals and their ecosystems. Popular subjects of research are animal behaviors and biology. However, they also participate in collecting zoological data for analysis and contributing to the publication of scientific journals. Most zoologists also work to promote conservation efforts, from ensuring animal welfare to educating the public about global and local conservation efforts. Oftentimes, zoologists work with zookeepers, veterinarians, and biologists to manage animal populations and learn more about wildlife.